You wake up, check your phone, and see the message you were waiting for all week. Payday. Finally, you open your pay stub, see that you earned $2,000, and for one beautiful second life feels fair. Then you check your bank account and realize only $1,456 actually showed up. The rest disappeared into federal tax, state tax, Social Security, Medicare, and other deductions. Welcome to adulthood, where you do the work, someone else takes the first bite, and you're expected to call it normal. That is taxes. Taxes are the entrance fee to living in a functioning society. In theory, that money funds roads, schools, hospitals, emergency services, food safety, public programs, and sometimes expensive international efforts. Taxes come in layers. Income tax on what you earn, sales tax on what you spend, capital gains tax on investment profits, property tax on what you own, and payroll taxes that reduce your paycheck before you even see it. Most people also pay Social Security and Medicare taxes. Social Security acts as forced retirement savings. The government takes a portion now and promises to return some later. Medicare supports health care, mainly for older adults and those with specific conditions. Even before you budget or invest, a chunk of your effort goes into these large systems. Then comes filing taxes, an annual ritual that feels like performance art. The government already knows most of your earnings and withholdings, but it still requires you to report it. Millions spend time with forms, software, and documents. If your numbers match theirs, you're good. If not, expect a polite but serious letter. Employees often have taxes withheld from every paycheck. Self-employed people, business owners, or those with other income may pay quarterly. Some delay or avoid taxes and later become cautionary tales. Taxes aren't purely evil. They're annoying and complicated, but in many countries higher taxes support stronger public systems, better infrastructure, and higher quality of life. The real issue is that most people experience taxes as confusion first and civilization second. Now let's talk about banks. While taxes shave your earnings, banks turn your money into someone else's opportunity. Most people picture a bank as a secure vault guarding their cash. In reality, it's more like a spreadsheet. When you deposit money, the bank doesn't just store it. It uses most of it. Your deposit becomes fuel for lending. Banks act as middlemen. They take deposits from savers and lend to borrowers, earning profit from the interest spread, charging borrowers more than they pay savers. This is the core of banking. This process is explained by fractional reserve banking. Banks keep only a fraction of deposits on hand because not everyone withdraws at once. People use cards, transfers, and payments normally. The system relies on confidence. As long as people trust it, it works. But belief matters. When trust collapses, bank runs happen. Everyone demands their money immediately, exposing the system's timing-based nature. History shows these events remind people that bank safety depends on maintaining calm and confidence. Despite this, banks are useful. They make storing, moving, and spending money easier and safer than hiding cash. Some accounts pay interest as thanks for letting the bank use your money. In the U.S., deposits are often insured up to $250,000. So even if a bank fails, eligible balances are protected. The system prioritizes trust. Next is interest, one of the most powerful and misunderstood forces in finance. Borrow $1,000 and repay $1,280. The extra $280 is interest. Interest is simply the cost of using someone else's money. When borrowing, it works against you. When saving or investing, it works for you. There are two main types. Simple interest is calculated only on the original amount. Compound interest is more powerful. It charges or earns interest on interest. Growth builds on growth. This can build wealth or create problems. Investing with compound interest over years can grow money quietly in the background. But high-interest debt, especially credit cards, turns small purchases into large burdens. A $12 meal forgotten on a card can balloon with fees and compounding interest, punishing carelessness. The rule is clear. Attack debt interest aggressively. Respect and nurture interest you earn. Leave it alone to compound. Interest becomes your best worker or worst enemy, depending on which side you're on. Now enter inflation, the invisible thief. You notice groceries cost more, packages seem smaller, and your paycheck buys less. Inflation means rising prices, so each dollar buys less over time. It feels like a slow downgrade rather than outright theft. Inflation happens when demand surges, too many buyers chasing limited goods, or when supply problems increase costs, expensive materials, delays, higher labor, or energy. It can also feed on expectations. If people expect higher prices, they buy now, pushing prices up further. Mild inflation is considered normal and healthy for a growing economy. But high inflation erodes savings, strains wages, and creates stress around essentials. Governments respond by raising interest rates. This makes borrowing costlier, reducing spending and cooling demand. It's not pleasant, but it aims to restore balance when too much money chases too few goods. Regular people feel the squeeze from both inflation and the cure. This leads to recessions, periods when the economy shrinks. Business activity slows, spending drops, hiring weakens, and uncertainty rises. Optimism fades, replaced by caution and cost-cutting. Recessions can stem from overheating economies, financial crises, bad lending, asset bubbles, or external shocks like wars or pandemics. Economies naturally cycle through expansion, peak, contraction, and recovery. Think of it as a party that gets too loud, then ends. People cut back, businesses reduce costs, fear spreads. Even if you keep your job, the mood shifts. Everything. Recessions hurt confidence, jobs, and planning. But they end. Policymakers lower rates, provide support, and stimulate activity. Confidence returns gradually. Recessions leave lasting lessons about risk, debt, and fragility. Now, credit scores, that three-digit number defining your financial reputation. A credit score shows lenders how likely you are to repay borrowed money. Higher scores mean easier approval for loans, cards, apartments, and better rates. Lower scores make everything more expensive and harder. It's built mainly on payment history, credit utilization, how much of your limit you use, length of credit history, credit mix, and new credit inquiries. The system can feel unfair. You can be responsible, yet have a low score with little history. But it's gameable. Pay on time, keep balances low, avoid too many new accounts, and let history build. Treat your credit score as digital maintenance. Respect it, and it opens doors. Zooming out to currency. Money works because people believe it does. Money is a social agreement. Bills, coins, or digital numbers have value only because society accepts them as a medium of exchange. Trust keeps the system running. trust and acceptance, stability, banks, and institutions. Governments issue currency, central banks manage it, and banks circulate it. Printing too much money without matching output causes inflation. Too little tightens the economy. Managing money requires balance. Money is a powerful human invention, like language. It enables cooperation, business, planning, and value storage across time. Investing is how money fights inflation and tries to grow. Instead of letting cash lose value, you put it into assets, stocks, ownership in companies, bonds, loans to governments or firms, funds, diversified bundles, or real estate. The goal is growth, income, or at least beating inflation. Successful investing relies more on discipline than genius. Diversify, stay consistent, think long-term, and avoid panic. Markets involve risk, crashes, bubbles, failures, but doing nothing guarantees inflation will erode your savings. Investing lets your money work for you, turning ordinary income into larger wealth over decades through compounding and time. Underneath everything is value, what determines where money flows. Value comes from human perception, usefulness, scarcity, status, emotion, or convenience. People pay for solutions, desire, status, or meaning. Markets reward what others want, not just pure utility. Understanding value helps you see why some things command high prices and how to create income by solving problems or creating desire. Finally, time is the force that magnifies everything. Time powers taxes, wages, interest, inflation, credit, investing, and compounding. Most start by trading time for money. Wealth builders eventually create assets and systems that generate income with less direct time input. Compounding rewards early, consistent action. Small starts over long periods outperform late, big efforts. Delaying investing or carrying debt costs more than the obvious amount. It costs lost time and growth. Zooming out, taxes take a cut. Banks facilitate and profit from money movement. Interest rewards owners and punishes borrowers. Inflation weakens idle money. Recessions test resilience. Credit scores measure reliability. Currency relies on trust. Investing makes money work. Value drives flows. Time multiplies results. Money is rules, psychology, incentives, and belief. Most aren't taught this clearly. Understanding the system changes how you see paychecks, banks, debt, and opportunities. It replaces blame with awareness. Learn the rules. Respect time. Build value. Manage debt wisely. Protect your credit. Invest early. Let compounding work. The financial system favors those who understand it and stay patient in the game. And that is how money actually works.